welcome back. This is your host, Sridhar Pai. Thank you for being here at the A to Z of GTM, tech startups, solopreneurs, and first time founders. Thank you one more time. Today is September 4th. 2025, and today's episode is a big milestone for India's tech ambitions. The first set of made in India chips from a pilot line were presented to the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi. But the real story is really what sits behind the fabs, the MoUs, the deep tech capital, talent, and I want to go into each one of these. Be prepared because this will be slightly longer than our typical. The milestone and what it really means. Yesterday was September 3rd. The day before was September 2nd, and that's when India crossed a symbolic marker. Chips designed and manufactured here, first sets from a pilot line were presented. The Prime Minister Honorable Shri Narendra Modi ji by IT Minister Shri Ashwini Vaishnaw. The Minister called it a moment of pride. So what has really gone behind this in the last 3.5 years? So let's quickly look at that. We have something called the India Semiconductor Mission ISM. This was originally launched in December 2021, and in just 3.5 years, the mission has moved from approvals to production. This is a somewhat uncommon situation in 3.5 years to move from policy to pilot chips, and that is very, very uncommon in the semiconductor industry, as you know. The minister has framed India as a trusted partner, unquote, in the global value chain, something that is being signaled to the world, and there was enough evidence from the support that we received. What really got announced here? Let's look at those announcements made just 2 days ago. The Deep Tech Alliance, a new alliance with $1 billion already committed, starting with semiconductors and expanding to clean energy, biotech, quantum, and space computing. Translation, early venture capital plus institutional support for core tech, not just the apps. ISM 2.0, the second point I'm making here, is the next phase will start focusing on making India a product nation. This is something a lot of us have actually dreamed about for years, for decades. And it's good to know that at a government level, this mission has now become solidified, it's concretized, and it's actually being rolled out as a policy, and necessary funding and infrastructure enablement is being invested. It's seen clearly the fabs, the OSAT, capital equipment, materials, and across the full value chain. Cost position. India's semiconductor production is claimed now to be already between 15 to 30% more competitive than most of the global benchmarks. Now, I know this is a tall claim, and I will only see this if it can be sustained and created as it rolls out into the industry in the next few years. There are 2 fabs in place, more in the pipeline. Now, SCL Mohali is original, traditional national lab for semiconductors. That upgrade has begun to happen to production levels, and new tape outs and high value mid volume manufacturing is being actively designed into those infrastructure. Exports have been baked in. Why am I saying this? Because the government has clearly said that exports are integral to the 10 approved projects, which means this is not just an import substitution, but it's actually a global market part. Now, let's quickly look at the 12 top MOUs or announcements that were made. I'm just sampling a few here. I'm not sure if I'll be able to put in all the 12. 1, Tata Electronics plus Merck, manufacturing and packaging capabilities. 2, Tata Electronics plus CDAC, domestic design and IP ecosystem. 3, Kane Semicon, localized automotive camera module plus India's first MEMS microphone plus advanced packages with Infineon. 4, L&T Semiconductor, make in India secure chip for digital ID, use cases being e-passport. 5, CDAC with Synopsys and IIT Madras Pravartak, flexible access to Synopsys IP under the DLI scheme, which is Design Linked Incentives. NILIT and Singapore SSIA, Skilling and Industry Academia linkages. ISM and ASU, Arizona State University, scientific and educational collaboration. Now that mix definitely looks heady. Why am I saying this? Because we're looking at design and IP, manufacturing and packaging, secure ID chips, automotive modules, tools and IP access, talent pipeline. It is pretty much a full stack, and that's a good thing to know. That means the key stakeholders here, both the industry and the government, are darn serious. Let's move on now to look at the talent engine and the startup pipeline. Now, if you look at the talent engine, 20 chips designed and manufactured by Indian students at SCL were presented to the Prime Minister. Very symbolic and very important to show that hands-on training is happening. 78 universities are now using advanced EDA tools across India, which is a big deal because I remember that the count was much lower just 3 years ago. Number three, Design Linked Incentives, DLI, has produced a portfolio of IPs and 25 priority products have been identified for development and taken to market. 28 plus startups have moved from project to product. Early directional. Number four, why global players showed up. Let's quickly look at how the global participation has been in this event. Number one, ASML, Lam Research, Applied Materials, Merck, Tokyo Electron, and others were present. Basically, the who's who of the equipment, the semiconductor equipment and materials layer. Many of them were present with the heavyweights included. Presence does not necessarily guarantee factories and production, but at least it's a strong signal. Either they were curious or some of them are already invested, and some of them others are beginning to look at how they could de-risk a global supply chain scenario, considering the level of chaos that's currently prevailing across the globe. Now, what about the road ahead? Where does this go from here? From pilots to products, the first chips from our pilot line are table stakes. Everybody knows that. The real test is repeatable production, yield, and design wins. This is a big, very big factor, and we are really eagerly looking forward to make sure that we cross that chasm whenever that comes. ISM 2.0 success depends on closing the loop. Fabs plus OSAT plus equipment plus materials plus design plus skills plus exports. We are looking at a full stack here, and the efficiency of the full stack is only as good as the weakest link, and we are hoping against hope that all of that will be taken care and necessary investments will be put in place to make sure that the gaps are plugged. Number three, a $1 trillion industry by 2030. That's the global projection. India, that's a global projection of the world market, and India wants a meaningful share, not just of the talent, trust, and tech. We want to make sure that we participate in a meaningful way and contribute to the global industry. If you're a founder or operator, track DLI access, the Synopsys IP program, and university tool availability. Very important, guys. Number two, look for adjacent picks, what we call adjacent industry opportunities, and shovels, actually picks and shovels of the adjacent neighboring industry alignment, testing, packaging services, training labs, EDA specialization, yield analytics, and so on. These are all going to be super important for investors. The Deep Tech Alliance money is signaling. Watch for co-investment opportunities and jump in as soon as it becomes available. Track the space to be plugged into that developments over there. In closing, I just want to say that India's first made in India chips have now become available. The stack around them is being built up. MoUs to talent exports, talent to exports, all of that is coming together. If this pace holds, we will see much more tape outs, better yields, and real products on the market over the next few years. We will be tracking it right here. And if you would like a one-page summary of this entire episode, just DM me and I'll send it over to you, or follow me on the link in Substack, sridharpythonse.substack.com, and you will be able to be plugged in, and these alerts will land in your inbox. Thank you one more time for joining us. Plug in as much as possible to stay wired on the developments and what do you need to do, both from a tips and tricks as well as the latest AI innovations for your fastest and most efficient go-to-market, especially if you're a first-time founder, tech developer, or tech founder, or a solopreneur. Thank you one more time. Take care. God bless, and see you again soon.